Well, Tomas, how you pronounce his last name? Arroyo?
Arroyo.
Arroyo. I never could roll. That's why I had a hard time in Spanish in college.
The ruffles have the ridges.
That's right.
That's what you got to think about.
Very powerful man. Were you a little scared about getting into this when you the first day on the set and you were all dressed up, ready to be a general?
A little scared. Being that the first day that I had to be on the set, I had to ride a horse, carry guns, speak Spanish and English, work with Jane Fonda and Gregory Peck. It was an intense day. Yep.
A little stage fright that day.
Well, not stage fright, but it was just, it's like operating a tractor. You have a lot of different levers that you got to deal with, and, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask.
Happening.
It's a lot to ask. Gregory Peck, let's talk about him for just a moment. He is one of the great ones. And did you learn anything from watching his style or how he conducted himself?
Both for Jane and Gregory, I was looking at a film chronology of their work, and you know they're usually like this big, 3 or 4, and they, for both of them, they have like 2 full columns. Just in terms of the body of work that both of them have done, I'm honored to have been working with them.
What do you think about Gregory Peck, since you got to watch him on a day in and day out basis? What about him made him last 50 years in the acting world?
Gregory has, and besides his professionality, he carries with him this kind of aura of benevolence and integrity, and that you feel when he shakes your hand, when he talks to you, when he looks into your eyes. That's what comes across in the screen in so many of the characters that he's played. I mean, just doing, like, when I started doing research for LA Law when I was working, I looked at all the lawyer movies I could, and To Kill a Mockingbird was the one that I kept on running all the time, you know, that character that he's played and the different kinds of roles that he's done. When you look at a career like that has, you know, shown different sides to himself, I say to myself as an actor, God, if I get to do like half of that, you know, just to be able to show different facets of yourself, because that's what we want to be able to do in life, is be versatile as actors. It's
great just to pretend. It must have been fun just dressing up and playing a general. That would be a very powerful, fun role.
Well, he's not a general in the patent sense, you know, with the regalia, but he's a revolutionary general, and as Jane's character says, he's not really a general. I mean, who's a general? But he's a man of authority and cares about the situation at hand there, and knows the difference in terms of the disparity between the haves and the haves not during that time.
The working conditions were a little different from LA Law, weren't they?
A little dustier. We don't have as much dust in the courtroom, but we shot it entirely in Mexico, in some wonderful towns, desert locations, an actual working hacienda. There was a town called Zacatecas where we used the townspeople in this New Year's Eve sequence, and it was just colonial. I have so many like pictures in my head. I can just close my eyes and think about different days, and I know that years down the line, it's going to be something that's going to be dear to me.
The director gave this film an unusual look from most American movies, for sure. I don't know if it's the lighting or just the way that he painted the canvas.
Yes.
Is just very different.
Definitely. Well, he's not an American director. He's from Argentina. He is the director who directed The Official Story. He won an Academy Award for Best Foreign Film a couple of years ago. And Carlos Fuentes, the writer of the book, said that Luis was able to achieve epic intimacy because you have this backdrop of the revolution and the epic sense of the film, but at the same time, you get to these intimate scenes, and Americans are used to real quick cuts, you know, boom, 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 boom in a scene, and he can play a scene there's a scene between Jane Fonda and Gregory Peck, and that's very poetical and lasts for a couple of minutes, and he just goes one to the other, and it plays so beautifully. So it does have a little bit of different look that we might be, you know, used to, but I think that adds to the beauty of it. It does feel like a canvas in certain points.
He handles it. It's very beautiful. You know, that scene particularly is like 2 minutes just to tell that poem, but you'd never know it.
Yeah.
You know, he just does things. His sense of time is suspended differently. You're up for an Emmy for LA Law. What's the secret of that successful show? I mean, obviously people watch it and it tells something there, but what do you think the magic is?
Support. really, from all around. When you have people that have a common goal in terms of bringing on a week-to-week basis quality stuff, and it starts with, you know, our creator Steven and Bachko, and works its way all the way down to the person who runs cable and stuff. Everybody wants to do the goal for integrity, and it's a nice even keel on the set with all the actors. We're a family in the best sense of the word. We understand what ensemble means. So on any given week, somebody gets to get out there and do something real special, and there's support around there. And then on another given week, it's another character. Those are just some of the elements, I think, that...
Is that show going to go on a long time? Or do you know?
Yeah, I don't
mean,
know.
as far as you're concerned.
You know, we're as the actors, we're contracted for a certain amount of years, and
you'll just go until it feels bad, and then we'll stop.
I'm not sure. I know the studios want it to go for other reasons, for syndication, and you know, as long as we can keep doing it and be happy and do good stuff, that's what's important to me.
Now, I'll run this tomorrow if you win. You going to win tonight?
You know what? This might sound like corny, but I won already in terms of the nomination. You know, it's the third time that I've been nominated in the 3 years that we've been on the air. So, the nomination means that you've gotten the support and acknowledgement from your peers in this business, and it's five people. If I get a nice statue to take home, that's nice. If not, I have a nice certificate that says that, you know, that acknowledgement. It's more for the people at home and you guys, and
it's a game.
but it is. I'm not going to say that it's not like nerve-wracking, that, you know, that moment. But
what were your goals when you were a young boy and you said, "I want to be an actor someday"? I mean, did you have a goal that you wanted to do? Did you ever think you'd get this far? Or did you always know you'd go this far?
I knew that I wanted to be able to touch people in some way. At different points in my life, it manifested differently. I did a lot of community work, but I always had an interest in theater, and being. It's a fascinating profession that you can do research on a particular time period, and that one day you can be a king, and the next day somebody who's homeless, but the thing that I always hoped for is to be able to do work is one thing, but to be able to make an impact, like the work I do on the show, to give a different kind of image of what Hispanics are about in this country. That's like the icing on the cake for me. So, you know, I feel so lucky. And to be involved in a project like this, and a film like this, to have worked with Jane Fonda and Gregory Peck, a director like Luis Puenzo, I've been real lucky.
Dream come true. Congratulations on all your work, from LA Law and El Gringo. It's a beautiful movie.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.